beautiful work from home biscuits. So how can you be more productive in your work from home life? If you're new here, hi, I'm Rose Kelly. I am a romance and erotica author. I write under the pen name RM Kelly. You can check out all my books linked below in the description box. I also do lots of YouTube and Instagram filming, and I thought I would share a little bit about how I try to be productive without burning out. Oh, sorry, I'm in a cozy robe that I love to wear while I'm working from home, and I'm trying to make sure it doesn't do naughty things. How I, let's not say balance it all, but how I organize my time to be as productive as I can be before I burn out, and also while I'm still juggling all the other things. I homeschool my third grader, I have a 2-year-old toddler, and I do my urban homesteading, so I have a lot outside of work that also takes up my time. And so I really try to be very mindful of my productivity when I have my working mama hat on. So the first thing I do, and I've been doing this for years. I mean, I remember finishing my very first romance novella, Those Last 10 Pounds. You can grab it on Amazon Kindle now. And my big reward was I got myself some cheese. I went to Trader Joe's and I got myself a little platter, or like different cheeses that I could put on a platter and reward myself with. So the first thing I do is I set rewards for myself. So if I have a goal to finish a chapter of a book, or if I want to film a video for my Primal Self-Care Patreon, and I get that filmed, I get it edited, I get it posted to the patrons, reply to everybody's messages, I set that as a goal to be rewarded. Because, you know, I'm like a woof woof dog, basically. I'm just a fabulous Afghan hound, and I want rewards. I want to be a good doggy. And so I reward myself. And for me, I really like treats. So I'll get myself a great chocolate croissant, a slice of cake, some cheese, a great sparkly juice that I love. Whatever that might be, is I treat myself when I finish a project. And it doesn't have to be, the project doesn't have to be completely done. It can be a segment of the project, because I don't want to make it such a far distant reward that it doesn't motivate me. Because then I'm motivated. I'm like, ooh, that was a great reward. Let's do the next one. And it really does keep me more productive. I've got to say, God knows with my attention span, if a goldfish was that shiny, what was I doing? Let's do 5 unfinished projects all at once. I really do have to work on being mindfully productive so that I'm actually finishing tasks and not just starting a lot and therefore doing a lot of tasks throughout my day, but not actually finishing anything. So that's where rewards comes in really handy for a little ADHD brain. Okay, so this one, the house gargoyles insist on. That's what I call my children. Is I take frequent breaks. So I know that there's a level that I hit, that I've been super productive, I've gotten lots done, but my productivity is really declining. And for my mental health and for being able to get lots of stuff done when you work from home, I take frequent breaks. When I'm in the zone, I stay in the zone, but I can feel when I'm sliding out of it. And instead of fighting my way back into the zone, which never works, I take a break. I go have a sip of water. I go check on the chickens. I play with the kids, although generally when I'm working, it's segmented time, so I don't have to be playing with them. They're being occupied, but if it is just a work from home day where they're like watching a cartoon or playing, or they're in the backyard or something and I'm watching them from my window, then I'll go play with them. I'll walk outside a little bit. Sometimes it's a 5-minute break. Sometimes it turns into an hour break and I come back to it and boom, I'm on it again. Sometimes those breaks last until the next day and then I'm like, oh, I'm productive. You know, knowing when you're most productive, creatively, admin-wise, whatever it is, in your personal work from home cycle is so important. I know that I'm morning productivity and then like 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Those are my windows of productivity. And that's just like when I know I've got to get a lot of stuff done. That's when I know, because I know by noon I'm probably a goner for productivity. Rest of the day is spent with the kids and the family. And then if I still haven't finished that project and it's due, whatever that is, get the kids down to bed. You know, maybe I have a little snacky poo, and then I get back on and I work until late in the night, early in the morning, and then I tuck in and try to get a good night's sleep. But I try not to push that too much. I can't do late nights more than maybe twice a week because it really affects my health. But when I've really got to do a deadline, I do breaks so that when I am productive, I am really super uber productive. There is no one more productive on the face of the earth than a work from home mama who is the breadwinner of their family and needs to get stuff done and loves their work and is fulfilled by it, but knows that you can't be all about work and life, that you have to have hobbies and family life and a diversity of interests. No one is more productive than that lady. So hats off to all you work from home mamas that are on here. Say hi. Drop a comment of like a little computer emoji or something if you work from home. So this is something I've been doing for years, like absolute years. And it's funny because I ask people, do they do this? And only a couple people I know do this. I set aside time to think. This is crucial to my work from home routine. I don't have to have I don't have to be separate from the rest of the family. I can be, cuddling my toddler for her nap time. I can take the kids outdoors on a hike or to the lake or something, or to the beach and be watching them and still be thinking, I can't do it when I'm playing with my kids and I need to be engaged with them because I don't want them to get 25% of my brain and the 75% is thinking. But I can just be actively around my family but thinking about something. I like to sit down with a notepad and my pen and I think about my topics. So I also have a side business where I run a gorgeous rustic off-grid glamping experience for families. And that's taken a lot of planning. And every year it takes planning. I say that every year. I just started it. But last year I was prepping for it for the entire year, getting everything ready. And so that takes time to sit down, think, and plan. And before I can plan, I have to think because I have to know what I'm planning. That's true for my novel outlines. It's true for my Patreon content. I put a lot of thinking time into my Patreon content so I can really give condensed inspiration, knowledge, life hacks, primal essence, saucy burlesque on Patreon in a really easy to watch and fun to watch way, and that takes a lot of thinking. So set aside time in your actual schedule, you can even calendar it out, and say, thinking time. And know when you're best for thinking, because that might change depending on the time of day. Read more for inspiration. This is what I wrote down as a note to myself to talk about. What an author is suggesting that you read more. Yes. Oh my goodness. When I have had big things to launch, I remember getting ready to launch my Patreon page a couple years ago because it's been, how many years has it been? I can't remember. But I did 6 months of reading of research books and nonfiction books and all sorts of things so that I really felt prepared to launch that. I spent a year reading before I launched my glamping business about all sorts of homesteading, off-grid things, glamping. I was just absorbing information like a sponge so that then I could curate in my mind what the aspects were that I wanted to take away, what didn't work for me, and just grow in knowledge. So I'm a big fan of reading to get inspired, reading to know more. Find the topics you want. That's part of why I read so many romance novels is I'm not taking ideas from romance novels, but I'm absorbing the essence of the fun and the saucy and the steamy. Those fellers, oh my goodness. And the playfulness and the world creation, and I'm getting inspired to create my own worlds to write about, right? I love reading for inspiration. I don't think you can read too much. There are seasons of my life where I read zip doodle a lot because my kids are so needy, and then I get to bed and I'm tired. But something I'm starting this fall, again, is getting back into reading. I did a ton of reading in the school pickup line last year before we put my son back in homeschool. Took my son back to homeschool. I don't know how you even phrase that. That was a great half-hour time to read, actually. I kind of missed it. I don't miss the insane parents in the pickup line who would try to ram your car to get ahead of you. But I do miss that reading time. Homeschool mamas know what I'm talking about. Calendar the heckity boop out of everything. That's right. I have a calendar wall in my closet bedroom kind of thing, and it's got our appointments, it's got our schedule for things, it's got if there's a library story time or a toddler music class or my son's homeschool co-op classes that he takes. If there's a special event we're going to, I put it on the calendar because this goldfish brain will not retain that information no matter what I think. And shamefully, I did not do this in the spring, and we missed 2 big things that the kids wanted to do because in my mind it was I had remembered the thing. I just remembered it as a completely wrong day. So now I am back. I used to do this and I'd stopped for a while, I think just because mom brain when my daughter was born. Is calendar the heck of the poo out of everything. And oh my goodness, you will have such a better work from home experience, because when you know what your personal family time is going to be like, then you can schedule your work from home schedule. So if I have really tight schedules, and I try not to do this anymore. I used to, when I was first starting my business, have really tight schedules where stuff had to be met. And now I have general schedules. So I'll be like, this is the month this project needs to be done. Occasionally I'll have a hard launch date for something, and then I have to calendar that in and put it in. But I will write out, what I need to get done for the day. Like when my kids have a babysitter to watch them so I can really focus in on my work hat, right? And I probably do that twice a week, 2 to 3 weeks out of the month. It depends on my babysitter's availability. So I'll have 3 to 5 hours twice a week, 2 to 3 weeks out of the month. And those days I schedule out what I'm going to be doing, what needs to get done. I triage, most important, need to get done, would like to get done. Wouldn't that be nice? If you want to get hardcore, you can color code things, but I'm too exhausted of a mother to color code things. So I just kind of put it in order, and I'll put a little asterisk next to something if it's really important. But calorie to everything to be a really productive work from home mama is glorious. And I want to point out, don't be productive for productivity's sake. Don't take on, say you're a freelancer, don't take on so many assignments just because you're desperate to get those assignments that you don't finish them well. They cause you immense stress. They affect your health, your mental well-being. It's okay to have a modest business that supports your family. You don't have to be the be-all, end-all of whatever your field is. It's okay to really enjoy your field, to love it, to be passionate about it, but to also know that there's more life out there than just the working from home part, right? There's also the home part, and it's really important to find that balance. And Lord knows every season that balance shifts a little bit for what it looks like in my life, but it's really important that I do pay attention to that. Don't forget, come on over to talk more about balance and primal, emotional, physical self-care. Oh, I love that essence of inner being when it comes through, when we are just gliding along our path the way we're supposed to. Our Patreon community is where it is at, my biscuits. I'll see you over there.